Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Town of Manchester Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for May the 20th, 2013. First item on the agenda is approval of the March 19th minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passed. Thank you. Reports. Michelle, zoning appeals?
Yes, we did have a case, number 294, the Board of Zoning Appeals, that was held last Thursday, and it was for the Gary Business Center, which they were granted conditional use to expand their mini storage facility located to the rear of the property behind Brothers Pizza. They currently have 14 units, and were approved up to a maximum of 32. So they're intent on building the exact same size building behind the one they have, just breaking it up a little differently for different sizes. And that was given approval. They will be coming before you for a site plan review also with that. And that's all I have.
Great. Anything for the town?
I do have a pre-app meeting scheduled tomorrow for Section 7, Manchester Farms. So that's going to be showing up for you in a couple months. Have not heard from Sheets.
Really?
And have not heard from Stegers at this point.
Okay.
I do have something to pass on to you. Steve asked me to give you, I gave you all an email that he had put together given to the council to let them know what was going on with the stormwater management fee. So you can read that when you get time. He's part of the advisory fee committee or whatever that's meeting to try to come up with that. And he wanted to keep you informed on that one. So he did give me that to hand out.
Okay. Anything for the council?
No,
Doug,
I just want to thank you guys. I've enjoyed the past couple years working with you all. It's been good. I guess this is my last meeting. Who knows? When it comes to elections, you never know. So anyway, I've enjoyed it. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Ditto.
Okay. Ms. Moser, it's good to see you again. Do you have anything for us from the county? I do. Great.
Actually, Michelle's already touched on the first one that I just wanted to bring up. At the last meeting in March, I can't remember who asked the question about where the county was on this stormwater management fee. So I basically said, let me look into it, get some information, and get back to you on it. So what we're referring to is House Bill 987, Stormwater Management, Watershed Protection, and Restoration Program, commonly known as the Stormwater Fee Bill. It requires that local jurisdictions adopt and implement local laws or ordinances necessary to establish a stormwater remediation fee by July 1st of this year. So the county has convened a group called the Carroll County Stormwater Fee Advisory Group. Now, my understanding, Michelle, was that there were representatives from the towns of Westminster and Tawnytown. You're saying that Steve is also a member of that, or?
I don't believe he's a member of it. I
Okay.
think he's just attended.
Okay, so that group is really the group responsible for coming up with this remediation fee. And right now, they're discussing the rate structure. In other words, what the fee will be based on. Now, the WRCC, which I know Steve is a member of, there's a staff person on the WRCC from every town, and that's, WRCC is the Water Resources Coordination Council, and what the advisory group has been doing has been reported to the meetings of the WRCC. So again, the advisory group is working on the rate structure My understanding is that the county will have something in place, ordinance or what have you, by July 1st. We don't know yet what the fee may be or even what it will be based on. That is under discussion. I don't think that the decision has been made, but I think it's pretty much everyone's understanding that the way this is probably going to end up being implemented is through the annual property tax bill. All the towns have agreed to participate together with the county, so all 9 jurisdictions are going in together, and the county has agreed to basically be the collection agency for all the jurisdictions. So that's basically where we are on that. So stay tuned as the details are decided upon.
If that doesn't happen, I mean, what do you foresee? I mean, I know it's looking into a crystal ball, but if that doesn't happen, where does that leave the towns and stuff? You know, because we're piggybacking on the county. I guess it's up to
If it doesn't
towns.
happen, that's a good question. I mean, that's what the law is requiring.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, I mean, everything is in motion
Okay.
to get this done. But if there's any kind of like, kickback to the law and things change, next year, I mean, who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows what might end up happening, but that's where we are, at least for the present.
Like you
Moving
said, stay
forward.
tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned, right, exactly. I'm also up here, the next item, I'm just going to segue into the next item, which is the draft 2012 annual report. This report is required by state law, and state law requires that every local planning commission prepare an annual report, and we're talking calendar year, not fiscal year, an annual report summarizing activities during that calendar year. Now, for at least 30-some years in Carroll County, again, because we have 9 jurisdictions, we have 8 town planning commissions and the county planning commission, we essentially do one report. So someone from the county, and right now it's Scott Graff in my office, coordinates with staff from all the towns to collect the information to then put in the report. And of course, he's collecting information on county development and so forth as well. And I believe for Manchester, Michelle, I believe you were the contact person who provided information to Scott, which is reflected in the plan here. Now, something new that the state is asking all of the local jurisdictions to do with respect to the annual report is to basically approve the report and send a letter or something to Maryland Department of Planning indicating that such and such planning commission approved its portion of the annual report. So I believe a few weeks ago, I sent Michelle and my other towns kind of a sample letter that you're welcome to use or not use. I'll leave that totally up to you. But it simply says that on such and such a date, the Manchester Planning Commission, if you're amenable to this, approved its portion of the annual report. Now, my plan was to introduce this at the April meeting and give you a month to look it over. So when I came back to the May meeting, you all had a pretty good idea of what is contained in here, and I was looking for an approval. Since we didn't have an April meeting, I'm kind of mushing everything all together tonight. Were there any questions on what's in the document with respect to?
No, Michelle actually sent it to us, I think it was May 10th, so we have had time to review it.
Good.
I sent it right after she sent it to me again, and then I think I sent it out, I think I sent it twice. Did you get it twice?
Sent twice.
Yeah,
Okay. Twice is better than
none.
not at all.
I just keep pounding them, just like the kids.
So that's what we are looking for, is something in writing that this body approved the annual report. And Michelle, I have requested of all my towns, in whatever document, whatever letter, whatever, however you want to handle it, if you could please CC Scott on that, because what Scott wants to do is to take all the approval letters and put them in the report, so it's all in one document.
Okay.
Should we be looking for a motion?
This is
Has
Okay,
everybody
any
read
other
it?
questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. So since we've had time to review that, are there any questions for Bobby or Michelle based on the information that we received in the email?
No,
Okay.
just a comment I made to Bobby earlier, that there wasn't a whole lot of development activity in Carroll County in 2012.
Throughout the county,
Yeah.
county and all the municipalities as well.
it was very
Yes,
quiet.
Very true.
Yeah, small report, saving paper.
Yes, true.
Okay, yes, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that the Planning Commission approve the 2012 County Planning Annual Report.
Second.
Okay, have a motion, seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank
We
you
will have
very
that right
much.
out to you. Thank you.
Bobby, could you send me that letter again, because I don't remember. I don't remember that part.
Michelle, I could probably stop up on Friday.
Okay,
I think I might be back in time.
all right.
Okay. Item 5, ordinance review discussion.
Okay. Where we are again is, Michelle Ostrander and I met again and tried to go through everything. We went all the way up to 25078, which means we've gone through all the zoning districts. Then I sent it back out to you again. I didn't expect you to print it, that's why I printed it for you here. But I do want you to look over it again, because again, as in, all the yellows are things that we have modified or changed. And one of the new things that I did stick in there was everything on the fences on 25026. Bob sent me some wording that's used in Arundel County to help us with stating exactly the fence and what the fences should and shouldn't be. So that's an area I definitely want you to look over. Everything on this copy, because we're gonna pretty much go back and forth between emails, and I'd like to introduce it for your recommendation in June. So that we can get it, because we still have to get it to the council and have a hearing.
Gotcha.
We're supposed to have Mike Hoffler, the water study, we're supposed to have his input by the end of May for rewriting the subdivision also, because that's where we describe the attempts and the cost associated if you can't find the attempts, which we'll be modifying also.
Okay.
So I really don't have any, further discussion without going word for word, which we don't need to. I just wanted
Yeah.
you guys to look at this. Because there's a lot of things that I catch myself, like I've modified, I was telling Bob, I've modified like daycare, childcare to be daycare, so we can incorporate adult and children. And then I'll catch it later that I didn't catch it again. So
Yeah.
it's getting messy now, and I'm tired of looking at it.
Okay.
So I gave you all clean copies of that. And that's all I really need. Now, if I meet with Michelle again next week, we're gonna try to conclude it, and I'm gonna send it out, and if I feel there's a lot more to discuss, we might have to have a work session before we introduce it.
Very good. Okay.
You will also be getting a definition page from me right after I meet with Michelle, because we've got some definitions that we're changing for that. We're cleaning up in that section also.
Okay, very good.
That's it, that's all I got.
Before we adjourn, I showed June 18th would be the next
Next meeting,
meeting
yes.
date. Put that
Yes.
on our calendars.
On a Tuesday, on the third Tuesday. Oh my gosh, this month's been very confusing. Yes.
And, okay. Gentlemen, do you have anything to add? Would you like to add anything?
Sure, actually, you can just take a copy with you this evening if you'd like. Oh, yeah. And we're making the changes in the zoning ordinance, and then, again, like I said, it's because it's zoning, we recommend it to the mayor and council. The mayor and council will have a public hearing on it to give it final approval. We don't approve it, we just recommend.
Anything else for the welfare of the town or the commission? Very good. Okay. Take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I make a motion that the meeting be adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night.